Coming up on today's show. Right.
And one of the ways of doing that is actually figuring out who you are.
Well, what about people when they say, well, that's just the way I am?
And then tomorrow comes, well, you know, you didn't get a lot of sleep last night. It seems like it's your friend, but it's not.
How to begin getting organized by understanding yourself. Today on Keeping You Organized. Hello and welcome to Keeping You Organized. You know, a lot of people have that hard time of just starting to get organized, the beginning stages. And we have a guest today who's going to help us kind of figure out why it's so hard by looking at these different personality types, organizing personalities, and understanding who you are so you can move to the next step. We're going to bring on James Lott. Okay, the superorganizeruniverse.com. Are you like the super organizer, James?
I am, and I own it. It's me. I'm the super organizer, 9 years running. Yes.
Great. I see you even have like the little Superman icon kind of thing on your, very similar.
Folded arms, yes, folded arms, my logo.
That's great. Well, listen, we'll talk about your business in a little bit, but I want to talk about these 5 different personality types that are going to help us understand better who we are so that we can help get going, because it seems like overwhelm and getting started is the hardest part. Is that what you find out with your clients?
Oh yes. I've been recently. I just started. We'll talk about later. I just started some workshops because people kept saying to me, "How do I begin?" That seems like the biggest question. Not so much like what do I do, but how do I begin? My room is a mess. My car is a mess. I'm in LA, so our car is a mess.
Yeah.
My office is a mess. How do I even start? Because here's the thing about this. Whenever you see a giant pile, your first reaction isn't to dig into the pile and get rid of it. Your other reaction is, see you later. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
I'm out of here. Yeah, right.
It's just already too much. You're already thinking ahead. It's too much. I can't handle it. But you have to begin somewhere. And so that's a major thing that I talk about in my practices, how to begin.
Okay, great. Well, we're going to talk about the 5 personality types, right? So what's the first one?
Okay, before I begin the 5 types, I just want to give a disclaimer that I always believe there's no shame, no blame. You got to where you got to. You're there. That's just how it is. But now you're taking the steps to get help and to begin.
Right.
And one of the ways of doing that is actually figuring out who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ways of doing that is these 5 personality types. And the first one is called the messy one.
Mm.
And the messy one just doesn't put anything away. The messy one can't be bothered, also known as the slob. This person, gets all the papers from the mail, all the mail, just leaves on the table, spread out, and goes to the other room. And then every day does that. You can't see the table after 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
Or that person who comes home, takes off their jacket, throws it on the floor, takes off their shoes, or right by the door. You see a trail of where they're going by the clothes and the things that keep dropping along the way.
Well, what about people when they say, well, that's just the way I am?
And you know what? And I say, yes, that is the way you
That
are.
is the way you are.
But it's not good.
Right.
But that's good. That is the way you are. But how is that helping you run a smoother life? And how is it helping anybody else who's in your house with you?
Right. So how does that messy person get started? How do they begin?
Here's I'll give you a couple of tips. I know we don't have a long podcast, but a couple of tips. 1, you have keys, bag, purse, backpack. Hang some hooks by the door. So I always say, take your bad habits and turn them into good ones. Make your bad habits work for you. So hang some hooks. You get some really great hooks. Hang your keys there. Hang your jacket there. So as you're coming in and you're taking it off anyway, you're a place to hang it. And that helps stop that whole chain of the breadcrumbs to the bedroom.
Right.
That's one tip there. Another tip is having baskets or bins or something by the door. Throw all your stuff, like for kids especially, have them throw all their stuff in that bin.
Okay.
Take everything off, put it on the bin, and then you can get to it later. But at least it, again, decreases the whole trail into the other room and the mess on the table. Always say for mail, same thing. Get a bin for the mail, throw all the mail in there. You can go through it later, like once a week, you can go through it.
Right. So you kind of can create some of these like landing zones, or create a little container or something, a hook even,
Yes.
where these things can belong, even if it's just temporarily.
You said it perfectly. Landing zones. That's a perfect way of saying that. Yeah, you're like I say, you're taking what you already do kind of, but making it a little neater and a little more organized.
Okay.
So yes.
All right. Well, that's the messy one. How about personality type number 2?
The concealer.
Mm.
This one's very this person keeps everything, but it's hidden. So the place looks neat. It looks tidy. But don't open a drawer, don't open a closet. Because it's almost like a comedy of errors. You open a closet and the tennis racket falls out and the clubs, everything falls out at you. So they can't find anything, but the outward appearance is that it's neat.
Yeah. That's like one of my daughters. Everything goes under the bed.
Yeah, exactly.
And you look under there. Oh, here's some bag of potato chips. Here's your shoes. Here's the clothes you were looking for last week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So you still can't find anything. You're still not efficient. It's just like you're smushing things everywhere so you can't see it.
Okay. Well, what are the tips for the concealer?
Well, one thing you have to go through. Here it is. Organizing is not easy. Mm-hmm. Organizing does require work and commitment. That's for any of these types. So you're going to have to find a way to start to not doing that anymore. And some of the tips could be, you want things seen, have a great a bin underneath your bed. Mm. Again, it's almost like your landing zone idea. Have a bin underneath your bed where you put, okay, this is where all my shoes will go.
Okay.
And all the shoes go there. You slide under the bed, so you don't see it anymore, but the shoes are there. So when you pull it out, all the shoes are there. In your closets, you have to organize your closets. There's no other way around it. You're gonna have to organize it, but organize it in a way that's again very unique to you. So you do a lot of T-shirts. Well, then have a lot of T-shirts up front hanging. So you have those there. Maybe have a little bin in there for dirty clothes. Just throw your dirty clothes in the bin, so you still don't see it, and your place still looks tidy and neat. But at least, again, you know where the dirty clothes are.
Right. Well, it sounds like the concealer has some potential, because they want to put things somewhere. Maybe they just don't have the home or the right container, or haven't really laid it out. So yeah, that sounds like a great thing. Okay.
Exactly. And I always say that you can have one junk drawer in your house. Mm-hmm. I always allow my clients to have one junk drawer per house.
Okay. That's a fair rule too.
That's one. So once a one, get one.
Right. All right. Let's move on to number 3.
This one also kind of, and see now, folks, when you hear these, you may be parts of the concealer and parts of the message. You may be a hybrid of some too. So
okay.
Keep that in mind. The procrastinator.
Uh-huh.
Wants to get organized. See, I like procrastinators. They want to get organized, but they keep putting it off. I say all the time, procrastination is not your friend. It's not your buddy. It's your enemy. It's not your frenemy. It's your enemy. Procrastination will say to you, you're tired. You worked really hard this week. It's okay just to leave all your clothes on that side of the bed. It's okay. It's okay to do, because you deserve it. You'll do it tomorrow. You really will do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes, well, you didn't get a lot of sleep last night. It seems like it's your friend, mm-hmm. but it's not. And deep down, you want to begin and you want to do it. So you just haven't started.
Okay, well then we need to have the tips for the procrastinator, because I feel some of that in me. So I'm listening right now.
Okay, procrastinators a lot of times need a buddy system.
Mm. So
hire an organizer. I would say hire one of my peeps, or get somebody, a trusted friend or family member who will help you get started. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's just because you're on your own, you'll talk yourself out of it, because procrastination talks you out of it. If someone says, okay, let's set aside a time to start. I tell people all the time, do not organize when you're tired. Mm-hmm. This is good for procrastinators. Do not try to organize at 10 o'clock at night after you worked a 10-hour shift. Mm-hmm. That's not going to work. And if you're not a morning person, which we had to talk about earlier, don't try to organize first thing in the morning. Now, maybe Saturday mornings between 10 and 1 is a great time to do it. So I say try to get somebody, whether it's an organizer or a friend, go with you and start the process. Somebody you trust, to at least get started. Mm-hmm. Set a timer. Because procrastinators, sometimes it's timing. Set a timer. Get an actual regular egg timer and say, okay, I'm going to organize for 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. I tell people all the time, so start out. Small steps lead to large rewards. Awesome. Starting small is not a problem. So maybe it's 10 minutes a day. Maybe it's 10 minutes a week. Doesn't matter. You're getting started. But sometimes you may need the buddy system to kind of have somebody help you kind of get over the voices in your head.
Absolutely. I can totally relate to that one. All right, James, we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll get the other 2 of the 5 personalities, and we are talking about how to begin getting organized by understanding yourself with James Lott, and we'll be right back. Now, there's a place just for you. Life can be busy, and you still have to keep it all together. That's why you like to be organized and in control. Introducing MyOrganized.life, a special place where you can get ideas and solutions to organize what's important to you, your important papers, your important decisions, your important life events. We show you the ideas and products to stay organized in your life. See what's new. Stop by and say hello. Visit us at any time at www.myorganized.life. It's just for you. MyOrganized.life by Smead. Find us at www.myorganized.life. MyOrganized.life. We're back now on Keeping You Organized, talking about how to begin getting organized by understanding yourself. And we've been talking about these 5 personality types. We have James Lott from the superorganizeruniverse.com. He teaches classes on this. He has clients out in the Hollywood, California area. And James, so we covered 3 already. Let me see if I can remember the 3. We have it's the messy one. Or
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then we had the concealer, and
Yes.
then we had the procrastinator. Okay.
You got it.
Yay, I remembered. All right. So now we have to move on to personality number 4.
Yes, because we're trying, the goal is, again, not necessarily just to label yourself, but to actually come from center, to know who you are, so you can actually effectively begin the process of organizing. And the 4th one is the showcaser. Many of us know this. And the showcaser sometimes is generational, sometimes it isn't. I have friends who are gamers, who love comic books and love all kind of, where you buy, you show everything. Your walls are covered. With your shelves are figured with figurines and commemorative, presidential plates and all these things that, things from great grandma. I mean, everything is shown.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's to the point, it's okay to have things, displayed. You have great curio cabinets and shadow box things, but it's overtaking your life.
Right.
You can't sit anywhere. You can't walk anywhere. It's very claustrophobic because you're saving everything.
Okay, so if you're a showcaser, and I bet there's a lot of them out in Hollywood, but
Yes.
if you're a showcaser, what are some tips on getting started?
You first have to understand, because the first thing that comes up, people will say is, well, I'm a collector.
Mm.
And that could be true, but you have to really understand, it's not even about the money or anything, it's about your space you live in. If you're knocking things over, if you can't eat at a table, if you can't sit on a couch, how is that really running your life smoothly? If it prevents you from getting things on time, you have to look at all of those factors with this kind of the collection thing. Some things are just too much. So I say, really look at, you can do seasonal things. Here's one tip I always do. You can have one bin where you rotate things you like to showcase. So like maybe every 3 months, you switch out. So you have a bin full of, we'll say, Marvel comic figurines. And then you have a bin of DC comic figurines. Well, then every 3 months or 4 months, you switch them out.
Right.
So it helps declutter. So you're not throwing anything away, but it helps kind of declutter the space. It's not so crowded. And you're still showcasing stuff. And then during the holidays, you can put up people do all the holiday stuff, they put it away. Like, have one little thing you have and just kind of rotate.
Oh, that's
one tip I've had clients do.
Yeah, that's a great one. The showcaser also sounds kind of like the hoarder. So they probably have just too much stuff, right?
Yes. And you have to really realize also the shape of your stuff. There are things that have been broken, that are old, discolored. You have to really look at what you have. And if it's one of those things, it would be time to get rid of it.
Okay.
But you have a bunch of broken items. Why are you showcasing them?
Right. Okay. I think we're ready for number 5 now.
The big one.
The big one. Maybe not. We'll see.
The hoarder / pack rat.
Oh, I knew we would have to get to that one.
You have to get to it. Well, basically the most extreme.
Yes.
And a hoarder pack rat, and some people think pack rat is less than a hoarder. It's this debate in our industry. I feel like it's basically the same in some ways. There's different degrees of hoarding disorder. It's like not every hoarder is the same.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to make sure I want to make sure I say it out loud. There's different kinds of keeping things. This one's most extreme, the one that I feel the most for, because it really is psychological. I mean, they're all psychological. This one really is psychological. And the tip that I give is that not just a professional organizer, you also need someone who handles hoarding disorder.
Mm-hmm.
You also need maybe a clinical therapist or a psychologist. There needs to be several professionals in tandem working together to help that person who's keeping everything. Because most things are tied to emotional base of your brain. So that's a hard one.
Right. So getting additional help, and I bet if people contact you, you have resources of people that you can refer to. We're just about done here. Let's talk a little bit about your super organizing universe. Let people know kind of what you do and how they can get a hold of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity to be on the show. Of course, I love SMED. You guys are great. You have great podcasts. So thank you very much. Yes, I'm superorganizeruniverse.com. I have Facebook pages and I have Twitter pages, the Super Organizer and the Super Organizer Show with James Lott Jr. My radio show, the only organizing radio show in the country. I celebrate 3 years on June 4th. But you go to superorganizeruniverse.com, and that's the beginning place. That'll take you to everywhere else. I have a page called the Super Organizer University, which has all of my workshops. And then if you're in the LA area, I have 3 workshops coming up, so you can go there and sign up.
Great. Well, we'll have all the information on how to connect with you in our show notes for this episode, especially if someone's driving along right now and they didn't get all that information down. Yeah. So you can go to smead.com/podcast, look up the episode with James Lott, the superorganizeruniverse.com. James, thank you so much for being with us today.
You are a joy to talk to, and I can tell you get it. I tell you get it.
Well, you haven't seen my house yet either, though. But that's an episode that we'll talk about maybe some other time.
Thank you very much.
You bet. All right, there you have it, folks. Now you know how to get started. That's really what we were talking about today, is getting started by understanding who you are and identifying with one or more of those personality types. So definitely take the advice, get started with those tips, and we'll see you next time on Keeping You Organized.